The United Nations hospital ship Hope drifted silently through the star-filled void, its white hull gleaming under the light of distant suns. The red crosses painted on its sides served as a universal symbol of healing, visible from miles away in the darkness of space. Inside the massive vessel, Captain Robert James stood at the observation deck, watching the stars drift by while sipping his morning coffee. "Captain, we're receiving another distress call." Officer Amy Miller's voice came through the intercom. "A mining colony on HT 2891. They're reporting severe radiation burns from a reactor leak." James placed his coffee down and straightened his white medical uniform. "Plot a course. How many injured?" "Initial reports suggest 47 miners, sir. 12 critical. Alert all medical teams. I want operating rooms 1 through 6 prepped and ready." He paused, then added, "And Amy, make sure we have enough radiation treatment pods available." The Hope was Earth's newest hospital ship, a marvel of medical engineering. At nearly 2 kilometers long, it housed thousands of hospital beds, hundreds of operating rooms, and medical equipment designed to treat every known species in explored space. Its mission was simple: provide medical care to anyone who needed it, regardless of their origin. The ship's massive engines hummed to life as it changed course. In the medical prep area, Dr. Tom Wilson reviewed the incoming patient data on his tablet. 30 years of experience had taught him that preparation was everything in space medicine. The radiation burns would be tricky. Each species reacted differently to radiation exposure. "Teams 3 and 4 prepare for triage," he announced over the medical channel. "Remember, these are miners. They might have other underlying conditions from long-term exposure to mining environments." The Hope's medical bay was a hive of activity. Nurses checked supplies, doctors reviewed treatment protocols, and medical robots moved efficiently through the corridors, carrying equipment and medications. The ship's AI system, Florence, coordinated everything with quiet efficiency. ETA to mining colony. 45 minutes, Florence announced throughout the ship. In the diplomatic section, Mark Davis, the ship's cultural liaison, studied the mining colony's background. The Hope didn't just need to heal bodies. It needed to navigate complex cultural situations. Some species had strict rules about medical treatment, and violating them could cause diplomatic incidents. "Florence, display all known cultural medical restrictions for the HD 2891 colony," he requested. The AI complied, projecting a holographic display of relevant information. The Hope had treated over 20,000 patients in its first year of service. Its halls had seen beings from hundreds of worlds, each with their own unique biology and cultural needs. The ship's motto, displayed prominently in the main reception area, read, "All who suffer are welcome here." Captain James made his final rounds before arrival. He checked the emergency transporters, verified the quarantine protocols, and ensured the translation systems were functioning perfectly. The Hope couldn't afford mistakes. Lives depended on their efficiency and preparedness. "All hands, this is the captain," he announced shipwide. "We're approaching HD 2891. This is what we trained for. These miners need our help, and we're going to give it to them. Standard rescue protocols are in effect. Remember, we represent the best of humanity out here. Let's show them what that means." The Hope slowed as it approached the mining colony, its massive form casting a shadow over the smaller facility. Emergency lights cast a soft red glow across its hull, indicating its readiness to receive patients. In the distance, other ships moved aside, respecting the hospital ship's priority status. This was humanity at its finest, not conquering, not trading, but healing. The Hope represented everything humanity aspired to be: compassionate, efficient, and dedicated to preserving life in all its forms. As the ship initiated docking procedures, its crew stood ready, prepared to face whatever medical challenges awaited them. Little did they know that this routine mercy mission would soon become the catalyst for events that would change the galaxy forever. 3 days after treating the miners at HD 2891, The Hope received another distress call. This one came from an unknown vessel at the edge of mapped space. "Captain, you should hear this," Officer Miller said, her voice tense. She played the message. "This is trading vessel Blue Star." A raspy voice crackled through the speakers. "We have severe casualties. Engine explosion. Many burned. Please help." Captain James studied the signal source on the main screen. Something felt wrong. The ship's energy signature was unusually high for a damaged vessel, but the Hope's mission was clear. When someone called for help, they responded. "How far?" he asked. 2 hours at maximum speed, sir." James nodded. "Take us in, but maintain standard safety protocols. Alert Dr. Wilson to prepare for burn victims." The Hope changed course, its engines pushing the massive hospital ship toward the distress signal. In the medical bay, the staff began their usual preparations, unaware of the trap they were heading into. As they approached the coordinates, Florence detected something unusual. "Captain, incoming vessel's power readings do not match reported engine damage." Before James could respond, 3 more ships appeared on their sensors, dropping out of faster-than-light travel. They were sleek, gray vessels with predatory lines, nothing like the claimed trading ship. "Shields up," James ordered, but it was too late. The first blast hit their port side. The Hope shuddered violently. They weren't supposed to have shields. They were a hospital ship. The Geneva Space Accords prohibited weapons on medical vessels. "All hands, battle stations." James's voice rang through the ship. "This is not a drill. Medical staff, secure all patients." The attackers were a species humans hadn't encountered before. Their ships had a distinctive gray metallic sheen, leading to their quick designation as Greys by the crew. They moved with practiced precision, surrounding the Hope before it could escape. In the medical bay, Dr. Wilson and his team rushed to protect their patients. "Move everyone to the inner wards," he shouted, helping push a bed containing an elderly miner. The lights flickered as another blast rocked the ship. "This is Captain James of the UNHS Hope," he broadcast on all frequencies. "We are a hospital ship protected under interstellar law. We have patients aboard. Cease your attack immediately." The response came in heavily accented standard English. "We know what you are. Your medicines and equipment will fetch high prices. Prepare to be boarded." Pirates. They were being attacked by pirates who saw the hospital ship as an easy target. The Hope's corridors, usually filled with the quiet efficiency of medical work, now echoed with screams and running feet as the crew tried to protect their patients. The ship's minimal security team, armed only with stun batons for handling unruly patients, took up position at key points. The first boarding party cut through the hull near the pharmacy storage. They were tall, gray-skinned beings wearing sleek combat armor. They showed no mercy, shooting anyone who stood in their way with energy weapons. "They're heading for the drug vault," someone shouted over the comm system. In the intensive care unit, nurses and doctors formed human shields in front of their critical patients. Dr. Wilson stood at the main entrance, holding only a medical scanner. "You'll have to go through me to reach these patients," he said firmly as the first Gray appeared in the doorway. The alien laughed, a harsh sound like grinding metal, and raised its weapon. Captain James watched in horror from the bridge as his security feeds showed his crew, his family, being gunned down while protecting their patients. The Greys were methodically working their way through the ship, taking anything valuable, killing anyone who resisted. He reached for the emergency beacon, the one that would send a message straight to Earth. His hand hovered over the button. In 300 years of space travel, no one had ever attacked a human hospital ship. This wasn't just an attack on the Hope, it was an attack on everything humanity stood for. He pressed the button. The message that would change the galaxy forever began its journey to Earth, traveling faster than light through the quantum communication network. Hospital ship Hope under attack. Casualties confirmed. Patients targeted. Help us. The emergency signal reached Earth at 3:47 a.m. Greenwich time. In the United Nations Space Command Center beneath Geneva, Switzerland, the quantum receiver lit up with an urgent red glow. The message repeated itself 3 times before falling silent. The duty officer, Peter Brown, stared at his screen in disbelief. His hand shook as he typed in the verification codes. In the history of space travel, no one had ever attacked a hospital ship. It was unthinkable. "Sir," he called his superior, "you need to see this now." Within an hour, the UN Security Council chamber was filled. Representatives from every spacefaring nation sat in stunned silence as they watched the Hope's final transmission. The footage showed medical staff being gunned down while protecting patients, the Greys stealing medicines meant for the sick, and hospital beds being overturned in the chaos. "Those were doctors," the Russian representative whispered. "They were killing doctors." The Chinese delegate stood up, his face pale with anger. "This cannot stand. We must respond." For the first time in United Nations history, there was no debate, no political maneuvering, no vetoes. The vote was unanimous. Every nation, every colony, every human settlement agreed. This attack would be answered. Deep beneath the Security Council chamber, in a room that officially didn't exist, General Maria Torres entered a code that hadn't been used since the Guardian fleet was created. On screens around her, hidden military bases across Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies began to power up. "How long until the fleet is ready?" asked the UN Secretary General, standing beside her. "The nearest response group can reach the Hope's last known position in 18 hours, Torres replied. "The full fleet will take 36 hours to mobilize." The Secretary General nodded. "Send the message to the Greys first. They should know what's coming." In orbit around Earth, communication satellites adjusted their arrays. The message was broadcast in every known language, on all frequencies. It was short, precise, and terrifying in its simplicity. "To the species who attacked the hospital ship Hope, you have committed an act that humanity cannot and will not forgive. You didn't just attack a ship. You attacked a hospital ship. You will learn why that was a mistake." In military bases hidden in asteroid belts and beneath the surfaces of moons, lights began to come on. Ships that had never been revealed to the public emerged from their hiding places. The Guardian fleet, humanity's best-kept secret, was awakening. At Lunar Base Alpha, Admiral William Thompson stood before a wall of screens showing ships powering up across the solar system. Each vessel was named after a hospital ship from Earth's history: Comfort, Mercy, Solace, and dozens more. They were built hoping they would never be needed, designed to protect humanity's ideals of peace and healing. "All ships report ready, sir," his aide announced. Thompson looked at the casualty reports from the Hope. Dr. Wilson, shot while protecting his patients. Nurse Martinez, killed trying to save a child. Captain James, still broadcasting his distress signal even as the pirates stormed his bridge. "Send word to all ships," Thompson ordered. "This isn't about revenge. This is about justice. We show them why humanity chose peace, not because we had to, but because we wanted to. And we show them what happens when someone mistakes that choice for weakness." As the Guardian fleet prepared to depart, hospitals across Earth began receiving messages. Medical staff from every nation were volunteering for space duty. They would rebuild the Hope, bigger and stronger than before. The attack meant to break humanity's spirit had only made it stronger. In deep space, unaware of what they had awakened, the Grey Pirates celebrated their successful raid. They didn't know that their actions had just triggered humanity's contingency plan, a plan centuries in the making. The hunters were about to become the hunted. The first ship of the Guardian fleet to break Earth's orbit was the UES Nightingale, named after the famous nurse. Its dark hull absorbed light rather than reflecting it, making it almost invisible against the backdrop of space. As it passed the moon, 2 more ships joined it, the Florence and the Barton. Each was a masterpiece of hidden human military technology. Admiral Thompson stood on the Nightingale's bridge, watching as more ships joined the formation. These weren't the peaceful white vessels that most of the galaxy knew. These were predators, built in secret while humanity presented a peaceful face to the stars. All ships report combat ready, his tactical officer announced. Weapon systems online. Stealth systems engage. Thompson nodded. Show me the fleet status. A holographic display filled the bridge's main viewing area. Dozens of blue dots represented their ships, moving into attack formations that hadn't been used since the fleet was created. Each ship carried weapons that had been developed but never revealed. Humanity's insurance policy against a hostile universe. Sir, called out the communications officer, we're receiving new intelligence. The Gray Pirates have been spotted near the Arcturus trading routes. They're attacking another medical transport. Thompson's face hardened. They haven't learned their lesson yet. Plot an intercept course. All ships prepare for faster-than-light jump. The Guardian fleet's engines hummed with power that had been kept hidden from the galaxy. These weren't the standard drives that human merchant ships used. These were something else. Engines that could cross vast distances in hours instead of days. All ships report ready for jump, Admiral. Thompson took a deep breath. Send one final message to Earth Command. Then engage jump drives. It's time to show them who they're dealing with. The fleet vanished in flashes of blue light, leaving Earth's solar system for the first time. In their wake, they left a changed humanity. The masks were off. The peaceful doctors and traders were now revealed as a species capable of building the most advanced warships in known space. On the Nightingale's medical deck, Dr. Jane Reed prepared her team. Unlike the Hope's medical bay, this one was armored. The beds could lock down in combat. The staff were trained not just as doctors, but as soldiers. Remember, she told her team, we're here to save lives when we can, but we're also here to show them why attacking healers was their biggest mistake. In the ship's tactical center, officers studied the Gray Pirates' attack patterns. Every detail from the Hope's final transmission was analyzed. The pirates had shown no mercy to doctors and patients. Now they would face an enemy that had spent centuries preparing for this moment. Multiple Gray ships detected, announced the sensor officer. They're attacking a Centaurian medical transport. Thompson's voice was cold as ice. Drop us out of FTL. Weapons free. Show them what happens when you attack healers under humanity's protection. The Guardian fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel directly behind the Gray ships. The pirates had no warning. One moment they were attacking a helpless medical transport. The next, they faced the full might of humanity's hidden strength. This is Admiral William Thompson of the United Earth Guardian Fleet. His message boomed across all frequencies. You attacked our hospital ship. You killed our doctors. You harmed our patients. Now you face judgment. The Gray ships tried to run, but the Guardian Fleet's technology was far beyond anything they had seen. Humanity had spent centuries appearing weak, appearing peaceful, all while building the most advanced fleet in known space. The pirates were about to learn why Earth's hospital ships traveled unescorted. They didn't need escorts. They had something far more powerful, the promise that any attack on them would bring the full might of humanity's hidden strength. As the fleet moved into attack position, Thompson remembered the old saying, "The most dangerous person in the room is the one who looks the least threatening." Humanity had looked peaceful, helpful, focused only on healing. Now the galaxy would learn why. The Guardian fleet moved through space like a pack of wolves on the hunt. Their dark hulls absorbed sensor scans, making them nearly invisible to normal detection methods. The Greys had scattered after their first encounter with the fleet, but they left a trail that humanity's hidden technology could easily follow. Another Grey base detected, reported the Nightingale sensor officer, hidden in the asteroid belt of System J-119. Admiral Thompson studied the tactical display. This was the fourth pirate base they'd found in 2 days. The Greys had been busy, building a network of hidden stations across this sector of space. They had thought themselves safe, protected by how far they were from Earth. They were wrong. Status of the base. Thompson asked. Military supplies, stolen medical equipment, no civilian presence detected, came the reply. They're using equipment taken from the Hope, sir. Thompson's face showed no emotion, but his voice was steel. Disable their engines and communications first. No warnings this time. They've had enough warnings. The Nightingale's weapon systems were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. No energy beams, no visible projectiles. Just targeted points of space where physics itself seemed to twist, leaving gray ships dead in space, their engines frozen in quantum lockdown. In the medical bay, Dr. Reed watched through the viewport as the fleet surrounded the pirate base. Her hands clenched as she saw medical supplies, marked with the Hope's symbol being used by the pirates. Each supply crate represented patients who had died when those medicines were stolen. Base is contained, Admiral, Tactical reported. They're trying to send distress signals, but our quantum jamming is holding. Thompson nodded. Begin boarding operations. Remember your training. We do this by the book. We're not pirates. We're justice. The boarding teams moved with precision that showed years of training. Their armor was as advanced as their ships, making them look like black ghosts as they moved through the gray base. They didn't kill unnecessarily. Every pirate was captured, documented, and secured. Sir, called out a boarding team leader, we found their data cores. They have records of every ship they've attacked, every hospital ship, every medical transport. They've been targeting healers specifically because they thought they were easy prey. The Admiral's expression darkened. Download everything. We're going to find every single one of them. Back on the Nightingale, the tactical team analyzed the captured data. The Greys had bases across 50 star systems, all hidden, all targeting those who couldn't fight back. They had built their empire on the assumption that peaceful ships were weak ships. Next target identified, announced Tactical. Grey Command Center, System K-227. Their leadership is trying to coordinate a counterattack. Thompson almost smiled. They still don't understand. Plot a course. All ships, prepare for jump. The fleet moved like a surgeon's knife. Precise, careful, deadly. They didn't destroy indiscriminately. They didn't target civilian areas. They simply dismantled the Grey Pirates' operation piece by piece, showing them the difference between brutality and justice. In their wake, they left secured pirates and recovered medical supplies. Each base they captured provided information about 2 more. The Greys tried to fight back, tried to use their usual tactics of terror and surprise. But they couldn't surprise ships they couldn't detect, couldn't terrorize crews they couldn't reach. Admiral, called out communications, we're getting surrender signals from 3 more Grey bases. They've heard what happened to the others. They're asking for terms. Thompson looked at the tactical display, watching more blue dots appear as the rest of Earth's Guardian fleet arrived in the sector. Tell them our terms are simple. Surrender all medical supplies, all stolen goods, and all personnel involved in attacks on medical ships. They will face trial under interstellar law. The hunt wasn't about revenge. It was about showing the galaxy that humanity's peaceful nature was a choice, and those who took advantage of that choice would face the consequences. The Grey Supreme Commander stood in his fortress on their homeworld, watching holographic displays show his empire crumbling. One by one, the dots representing their bases and ships winked out. Not destroyed. Something worse. They were being captured, their crews surrendering after facing an enemy they couldn't fight. How? He demanded from his officers. How did we not know about these ships? These weapons? His intelligence chief, shaking visibly, played a recording they'd recovered. It showed human ships, civilian vessels, being attacked by various pirates over the past century. The humans had always retreated, always run away. They had seemed so weak. They were watching, the intelligence chief said. Every attack, every raid. They were studying how others fought while building their own fleet in secret. We thought they were prey, but they were hunters all along. A communication officer burst into the room. "Supreme Commander, the human fleet. They're here. They just appeared in orbit. Our sensors didn't detect their approach." On the main screen, dozens of dark ships appeared, led by the massive Nightingale. Their sensors showed energy readings that defied Grey understanding. The human ships weren't just advanced. They were operating on principles the Greys had never even discovered. "This is Admiral William Thompson of the Guardian Fleet." The transmission came through on all frequencies. "Your forces attacked our hospital ships. We have dismantled your pirate operations. Now you face judgment for your crimes." The Supreme Commander watched as his orbital defenses, the pride of Grey military technology, were shut down one by one. No explosions, no destruction. Just systems going dark, weapons becoming useless. "You don't understand," he transmitted back. "We are warriors. We take what we want. That is our way." Admiral Thompson's reply was calm, but carried the weight of centuries of hidden power. "No, you don't understand. We are healers because we choose to be. We help others because we want to. Our capacity for peace is matched only by our capacity for war, and you chose to test both." In the space around the Grey homeworld, more human ships appeared. Each one carried the name of a hospital ship from Earth's history. Each one represented humanity's dual nature, their desire to heal, and their ability to defend that desire with overwhelming force. The Supreme Commander's last defensive line fell. His mighty fortress, built to withstand any attack, was rendered helpless by technology he couldn't comprehend. The humans hadn't fired a single destructive shot. They didn't need to. "These are our terms," Thompson continued. "You will surrender all individuals involved in attacks on medical vessels. You will return all stolen medical supplies. You will pay reparations to the families of those killed on the Hope. And you will sign a treaty acknowledging the protected status of all medical ships, not just human ones." The Grey leader looked at his officers, seeing the same realization in their eyes. They had catastrophically misunderstood humanity. These weren't simple healers who had built some hidden weapons. These were warriors so advanced, so confident in their power, that they could choose to be healers instead. "And if we refuse?" he asked, already knowing the answer. "Look at your screens," Thompson replied. "Look how easily we bypassed your defenses. We could have destroyed everything, but we didn't. We protected life, even your lives, because that's what healers do. Don't make us show you the alternative." The Supreme Commander closed his eyes. In all of Grey history, they had never surrendered. But they had also never faced an enemy like this, one that had the power to destroy them, but chose precision and justice instead. He opened the communication channel one last time. "We surrender. We will meet your terms." The lesson was learned, paid for in Grey pride and human lives. The galaxy would never forget. Humanity's dedication to healing was not a weakness. It was a choice made from a position of overwhelming strength. 1 year after the Grey surrender, a new hospital ship emerged from Earth's shipyards. 3 times larger than the original, the UNH's HFY gleamed white against the black of space, its red crosses proudly displayed on its hull. But something was different this time. A small escort of dark-hulled Guardian ships followed openly in its wake. Captain Linda Martinez, formerly a nurse on the First Hope, stood on her new bridge. The ship now carried twice the medical facilities, improved emergency response systems, and sophisticated defensive screens. The tragedy had changed everything, but humanity's core mission remained the same. "Captain," her communications officer called out, "we're receiving a distress signal. It's from a Grey medical transport." Martinez smiled slightly. "Plot a course. All medical teams, prepare for incoming casualties." The HFY changed direction, its massive engines powering up. In its wake, the Guardian ships moved with it, their presence now a clear message to the galaxy: healing and protection, wrapped in one package. At the United Nations Galactic Assembly on Earth, representatives from 100 species gathered to sign the Treaty of Protected Services. The document, written in every known language, established new laws protecting medical vessels throughout known space. The Guardian Fleet would enforce these laws, with bases now openly established in key sectors. Admiral Thompson, attending the ceremony, watched as the Grey Supreme Commander added his signature to the treaty. The former pirate leader had learned his lesson well. His people were now among the strongest supporters of the new medical protection laws. "The galaxy has changed," Thompson said to the assembled delegates, "not because of our weapons, but because of our values. We built the Guardian Fleet not to conquer, but to protect those who heal. Remember that." In orbit above Earth, the first class of alien medical students began their training on the new medical station Hope. Doctors from across the galaxy, including several Greys, learned human medical techniques alongside Earth's physicians. The station's motto was displayed in every language: "To heal is strength. To protect healing is duty." Dr. Reed, now Chief Medical Officer of the station, watched her mixed species class practice emergency procedures. "Your patients won't care what species you are," she told them. "They'll care that you're there to help. And now, they'll know you're protected while doing it." The captured Grey pirates faced justice in the new interstellar court. But even here, humanity's nature showed through. Those who expressed genuine remorse were offered chances to serve in medical support roles, helping to restore what they had tried to destroy. On a distant space station, a Grey doctor named Kir, one of the first of his species to earn a medical degree, treated a human child's broken arm. Through the viewport, he could see both the white hull of a hospital ship and the dark shape of a Guardian vessel. The sight no longer filled him with fear, but with understanding. "Your people taught us something important," he told the child's parents as he worked. "Strength isn't about taking, it's about protecting." Back on the Hope Aya, Captain Martinez received a priority message from Earth Command. New colonies were being established in distant sectors, and they needed medical support. The Hope Aya would lead a fleet of hospital ships, each protected by Guardian vessels, to help establish medical facilities. "Plot a course," she ordered. "Let's show them what humanity does best." As the Hope Aya prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed, Martinez looked at the holo display, showing both the medical ships and their Guardian escorts. The duality made perfect sense now. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to heal and protect in equal measure. The stars streaked by as they jumped to FTL. Somewhere out there, people needed help. And now, thanks to the lessons learned from tragedy, those who brought help would always be protected. The galaxy had learned, never mistake kindness for weakness. Humanity's peace was a choice, their healing was a gift, and their protection of these values was absolute. The Hope flew on, carrying this message to the stars, not through words, but through actions.